Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock and it's time for another video. And today I want to talk to you about kid shows. Now, I will tell you that one of the most popular videos I've ever done in this channel is a video I did a couple of years ago, how to run an awesome kids party. And I took excerpts from a show that I did and I broke down why you do certain things and the way you do certain things and how important it is. And I wanted to kind of bring a updated version of that to YouTube. And the reason is I get questions all of the time about running kids parties and how to run a kids party and so on and so forth. And look, I've said this on the channel before, I'll say it again. I think learning how to perform for children, being a kids entertainer, being able to perform for kids is vitally important, even if you have no interest in performing for kids. The amount of close-up magicians that I've seen that are morbidly afraid of performing for kids, and they get booked for private parties and weddings where there's kids there, and kids come up to them and they're just actively trying to avoid them. And I think that if you're booked for an event where there's kids there, you should be able to know how to actually perform for children, and more importantly, how to actually control kids. You know, the amount of questions I get where it's like, how do I stop kids from following me around at a close-up performance? And these are things that you would learn if you actually learned how to do a kid show. The other thing that I'll say is being able to offer a kid show is a great way to make sure that your income remains consistent even during financially challenging times. You know, I set up my kids company in 2008 during a recession, and one thing that I've found over and over again is even when people are struggling for money, and let's be honest, there's a little bit of financial uncertainty in the world at the moment, even when people are struggling for money and they haven't got much money, they will do whatever they can to put a nice birthday party together for their kids. And so although things can be affected in the children's party market, they're not as affected as much as, for example, corporate events, which, you know, if there's financial problems and recessions, the first thing they'll do is they'll pull their entertainment almost immediately. So you do tend to find that you have more of an opportunity to go and perform if you can offer a kid show as well. This is not the video where I'm trying to encourage you or convince you to be a kids entertainer. I will say that there's a lot of close-up magicians and stage magicians that are snobs, that are looked down at kids entertainers. And I will tell you that most kids entertainers that I know would run rings around your average close-up magician because they understand the concept of performing, and they understand the concept of showmanship and standing on stage and projecting yourself. And you know, I see so many close-up magicians that walk up to people, like 3 or 4 people, and they just, like, you know, perform as if they're, you know, not even a performer. I've also seen kids magicians that go out and do close-up shows, and they do a fantastic job of it because they can apply what they've learned as a kids entertainer and apply it to, close-up very, very easily. So I think that being a kids entertainer is very important, and I've been doing kids shows for 30 years now, and I love doing kids shows. And I'll be honest, when I first got into kids shows, I was scared to death. I wasn't very good at it, but, you know, it's like anything. The more you do something, the better you get at it. And I love the fact that I can walk on any stage, even if there's a family audience or a kid show audience, and I can kill it, every single time without fail. And that's something that's very important to me. So on this video, I'm going to show you a new show that I did at Drayton Manor. So Drayton Manor is a theme park over here in the UK, and I was booked to perform, and it was a show to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Drayton Manor. So Drayton Manor is 75 years old this year, and it was a show to celebrate that 75th anniversary. And it was a kid show audience. There were adults in the room, but the adults weren't really as involved as the kids are. However, it was more of a family show than a kid show. And what I mean by that is your average kids party, your average birthday party, the adults don't want to really be involved. You know, they're kind of there hoping that you can keep the kids entertained for a couple of hours so they can have a break, right? That's not the case at a place like a theme park. Normally, you know, that they want the adults involved as well. So even though you focus on the kids, you try to make it so that the adults get involved as well. And you're going to see a performance in a minute. And I was there doing 2 shows this day. So the day that I actually filmed this, I was doing 2 shows. And I'm going to show you the first show, and I'm going to show you part of the second show. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is very simple. When I did the first show, I'd never done this show before. So this show was developed for Drayton Manor for their 75th anniversary, and all the entertainers are going to be doing this show. And this show was put together for the 75th anniversary. And although I'd kind of scripted it and I'd put it together, I'd never actually performed this show before, or really worked with many of the props in this show. So it was kind of a new thing for me. And there was one particular trick that I added in at the end, which was a run, rabbit, run. I'd never used the run, rabbit, run before, and I made a big error at the end of that performance. Now I'm going to show you the whole thing, warts and all. I'm going to show you the whole performance, including the mistake that I made at the end, that the kids called me out on. And the reason I want to show you that is because I tend to find a lot of new people when they first get into kid shows and they first start performing kid shows, the thing they're morbidly afraid of is the kids calling them out on something that's gone wrong, which I understand because kids will do that. And that's the thing about kid shows. Kids are honest. If they don't like the show, they will just walk off. If they think you're boring, they will tell you and they will walk off. Adults will sit there and they will clap and they will, be very, very polite because they know that's the right thing to do. But kids typically won't do that. And so a lot of people that come in and watch kid shows, they're worried, they're nervous about, what's going to happen if this, if I mess this trick up. And my attitude is really simple. And I've always said this on the channel over and over again, regardless of the environment you're performing in, if you do a trick and it goes wrong, you've basically got two options. You either have an out. So, like, for example, if you lose the card in the deck, you can do a cull, or you can palm the card off, or bring out an invisible deck or something. And if you can't, then you try to get out of it presentationally. And you're going to see me doing that in this trick. So, and it would have been very easy for me not to include this, but I wanted to. So, there's, I think 4 or 5, the show's about half an hour long. You're going to see the whole show in a minute, from beginning to end. And and then we'll talk about it afterwards, because the whole purpose of this video is to try and show you what I do in a kids show and encourage you guys to hopefully go and perform kids shows yourself. But you'll see that the first trick, there's a warm-up. Then after the warm-up, there's a production of a whole bunch of stuff for out of a tip-over trunk, Hocus Pocus close-up tip-over trunk. Then after that, there's a production of some trains in a dove pan. Then after that, there's a washing machine thing. And then after that, there's something else. After that, there's the run, rabbit, run, right? And I go all the way through the run, rabbit, run. It's the very end of the run, rabbit, run that the trick goes wrong. I expose something, which, causes a bit of a problem. But you'll see that in the show, and I'll show you how I got out of it. So this is the show. I want to show you the show first of all. Then when you come back, we'll talk about it. So first of all, this is the full show. It runs about 30 minutes. Let's have a look at this.
You really like magic. Put your hand in the air if you really, really, really like magic. Put your hand in the air if you really, 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 really smell. I'm joking. Sit down for me. You see, here's the thing. I'm going to do a magic show, but I only do magic for good audiences. You guys a good audience? Yeah. I said, are you a good audience? Yeah. Now, if you're a good audience, I'll do the show, but I have to test you to see if you're a good audience. And if you pass the test, I'll do the show. And there's 3 things that you've got to be able to do. The first thing is, you've got to be able to clap your hands really, really loud. So I'm going to put my hands out like this, and when I do, I want to clap your hands together as hard as you can. So everyone put your hands out, get ready, as loud as you can, I want to see you clap your hands. 1, 2, 3. That's not bad, but there is a test to put your hands in the air, because if you clap really loud, what colour should your hands be? Red. Red. I don't see any red hands. Let's try again. Everybody, rub your hands together like this. Now wiggle your fingers. Now rub. Now wiggle. Rub, wiggle, rub, wiggle, rub, wiggle, rub, wiggle, rub, wiggle, and put your hands out, and go! Put your hands in the air, let's have a look, see if the red, green. Ugh. He's been picking his nose, that's disgusting. I'm joking, you're not been picking your nose. Right, you can clap. Now the next thing you've got to be able to do, and this is really important, you've got to be able to cheer. But you've got to be able to cheer so loud that the roof falls in and lands on my head. Now, this is really important. So I'm going to count to 3. I want you to cheer as loud as you can, like this. Yeah! Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Now that was good. I was watching very carefully. I was listening very closely. You guys were amazing. Not a single adult joined in. And this is a family show. If they're watching the show, if they're in here, they've got to cheer as well, shouldn't they? They should cheer as well. So I tell you what, we'll get all the kids to cheer as loud as they can. Then we'll get the adults to cheer as loud as they can. We'll see who's loudest, then we'll start the show. Adults, any adults that don't do this, I will bring you up to the front, put on Gangnam Style, and make you do the dance on your own in front of everybody. And I'm not kidding. So I'm watching all of you, especially you right there, so I'm watching you. Okay, right, okay. First of all the kids, as loud as you can. Think about all the times you get told to be quiet. Go to bed, do your homework, stop doing that. Stop picking your nose and eating it. Don't do any of that. But think about all the times you get told to be quiet. This is your time to make as much noise as you can. On 3, see if you can beat the parents and the adults. 1, 2, 3! Right, adults. Here we go. All the adults. Gangnam Style. 1, 2, 3! That was very good. You were good. You were good. Right. Right. So, we can clap, we can cheer. One last thing. Does anybody want to come up and help me with the magic tricks? Put your hand in the air if you want to come up and help. I'm going to tell you who I'm going to pick. So listen carefully. I'm going to pick the people that stay sitting down on your bottoms. Seriously, if at any point you stand up, I'm not going to pick you. All right? So you've got to stay sat down facing the front. You've got to be really, really noisy unless I do this. If I do that, I need you to be quiet straight away because it means I want to tell you something and I want you guys to hear what I'm trying to say. So who thinks they can stay sat down, they can be really noisy and really quiet? I'm going to do that. Put your hand in the air if you think you can. Let's have a practice. I do this really noisy. I do this really quiet. Here we go. 1, 2, 3! Yeah! Very good. If you do that, you stay sat down, there's a good chance I'll pick it. I know that's magic, isn't it? Right. Let me ask you a question. We've got the magic tricks, we've got the audience. Are you ready for a magic show? Oh, I should tell you, I forgot to mention, every magician, when they do a magic show, they need something. They need a magic wand. Now, I don't use a magic wand. I am better than that. Because I'm a magician that doesn't use magic wands, I use a magic... Now, don't laugh. When I tell you this, people laugh. I don't want to hear any laughing. No laughing, no sniggering, no giggling, no chuckling, no laughing, no laughing. I don't use a magic wand. I use a magic fork. Stop it. Stop it. I see the sniggering. Stop it. It's a magic fork. It's not a normal fork. It's a magic fork. It does stop laughing! Who would like to see my magic fork? Put your hand in the air. This is the greatest magic fork of all time. I bought it from the magic shop. This is my magic fork. It is not a spoon. This is a magic spoon. It's a spoon. It's not. It's a spoon. This is stupid. Okay, we need to turn it into a magic wand. We need to turn it into a magic fork. I can't do the show without my magic fork. I tell you what, everybody, if you know a magic word, put your hand in the air. I need a magic word. Don't shout out, but if you know a magic word. Yes, which one do you know? That's a rubbish magic word. Anyone else know a magic word? Yes, which one do you know? Abracadabra. I like that one. Anyone else got a magic word? Yes. No! That's the killing thing for Harry Potter, no! Oh, no! Yes, which one do you know? What? That's not a magic word, that's me trying to do a sneeze. Magic word. Whatever. Yes, which one do you know? Please. Creep. No, that's not one. Anyone else? Anyone else know that? Yes. No. Okay, we'll go with abracadabra. You have the only sensible magic word here. Well done. Right, everybody on 3. Shout abracadabra and we'll turn this spoon into a fork and then we can start the show. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And now I have a magic fork. No, it's not. It is a spoon. Hang on, try that again. It's not my fault, it's your fault. You weren't loud enough. Let's try this again, but 20 times louder. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And now we have a magic fork, and it is rubbish. I know it's a spoon. It's meant to be a fork. If this had turned into a fork, you would have been amazed. We would start the show, and that would be... I know it's not a fork. I know it's not a fork. It's not a fork. It's a fork. That's weird. Okay, look, we'll use the magic fork. We've got a magic fork. Right. Does anybody know why it's a special year for Drayton Manor? 75th, you've got it literally on your t-shirt. It's the 75th birthday party. This is not a normal magic show. It's Drayton Manor's birthday party. And when you have a birthday party, there's a few things you need. What's the first thing you need when you have a birthday party? Yes. A cake. I don't have a cake. We'll try and get a cake later on. Yes. Party blowers. Who likes those party blowers where you go, Luckily, inside my box, I have everything that you need to do an amazing birthday party magic show. Who'd like to see it? Who'd like to see it? Right, let me show you. Everything is in here. There are loads and loads and there's loads in there. Everything. Everything that you need in there. Oh. Okay, no problem, don't worry. We can fix this. How are we going to fix this? I know what we'll do. I'll get you guys to shout abracadabra. I'll wave the magic fork, and then we'll get the party blower. And party blower, what's... my favourite colour is red. Let's get a red one. Here we go. Everybody on 3, shout abracadabra. 1, 2, 3! We got a party. Who'd like to see it? It's a big red party blower. Look at that. Isn't it? You blow it and it goes... It's not green, it's red. Okay, that's not right. Okay. I know what the problem was. The problem was... is there a red one in there? No. I know what the problem is. The problem is, you guys, we should have shouted red party blower. So I'll tell you what, we'll try it again. Everybody shout red party blower. I'll wave the fork. Here we go. 1, 2, 3! Amazing. And now we've got a party blower. And it is red. Look at that. Isn't it amazing? It's a red party blower. This is... Oh, good grief. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Red party blower. There we go. Oh, sorry. I should have hit it with the thing. Look. It's now I've got it. Look at that. It's good, isn't it? It was empty. And now it's blue. Stop laughing. I know what we're doing. Hang on. Let me check. Is there a red one in there? There's nothing in there. Okay, I need someone to come up and help me. Put your hand in the air if you want to come up and help. I'm going to get a few people, but the first person I'm going to get is you. Coming up, what's your name? Oscar. Stand right there, Oscar, face to front. Everyone wave and say, hello, Oscar. Hello, Oscar. A little bit louder, say, how you doing, Oscar? Oscar, wave at everybody and say, hello. Hello. Very good. Oscar, hold my magic fork. Oscar, stand right there. No, hang on, just there. Very good. So, I'm going to point to you. You're going to say red party blower. You're going to wave the fork as fast as you can. If you wave fast enough, if you shout red party blower fast enough, we get loud enough, we'll get the red party blower. Are you ready? Yeah! 1, 2, 3. And now we've got a party blower. Oh, it's a red. Do you want to see it? Look at this. It's a red party blower. This is going wrong. This is going really wrong. Oscar, can you just tell me, are there any red part? No? Nothing in? Brilliant. Okay. Try it again. Everyone, red party blower on 3. Wave it faster. 1, 2, 3. I can't look. You guys are going to have to tell me. I really can't look. It worked. Oh, this is ridiculous. I tell you what, while I do it, you jump up and down in the air. Jump about this, can you jump about this high? Have a try. Have a try. No, a little bit lower, try about that high. No, how about this high? Ow! Okay, so you're going to wave the wand. No, it's not a wand, it's a fork. You're going to shout, red party blower. You're going to jump up and down at the same time. It's going to work. Everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3! I can't look, I really can't. You're going to have to tell me. Guys, did it work? Oh, brilliant. High five. That's amazing. But hang on a minute. It's a party. We need some more stuff. We've got the party blowers. We need cake. Now, we haven't got cake. But I can get a cake later on. Yeah, what you need is you need candles. Are there any candles in there? No. It's the 75th anniversary, so we need 75 candles. Everybody, shout 75 candles. You jump and down, up and down. Wave the fork. We'll get 75 candles. 1, 2, 3. And we've only got 1.
It's 5.
It's a 5. Are you sure Drayton Manor's not 5?
No.
Are you sure? You're 5. You need a 7. That's a good idea. If you had 7, it'd be 75. Everybody, shout 7. You're doing brilliant. Wave it, jump. 1, 2, 3. Jump, jump, jump. Did we get a 7? Did we get a 7? We got a 5. Did we get a 7? Did we get a 7? Yeah, we got a 7. So look at this. This is right now, isn't it?
No, do that.
What? No, this is right, right? Turn it around, sorry. There we go.
No, do that.
Oh, back the other way. There you go.
No.
What? Like that? Like that?
This.
Like that?
Do this.
Do this.
Yeah.
Is that 75?
Yeah.
Is that 75? Brilliant! Give him a big massive round of applause. Right, there's one last thing that we need. Who has been to Drayton Manor before? Who knows the name of the 2 main characters at Drayton Manor? There you go, you all know. It's Rory and Laurie. If we're going to have a party at Drayton Manor, we need to make Rory and Laurie appear. Shall we try and make Rory and Laurie appear, guys? I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. Are they in there already?
No.
Right, here we go. We can make this happen. Everybody, on 3, shout Rory and Laurie, then we can start the show. On 3, 1, 2, 3. The whole thing's been a bit of a disaster. There are 2 things in here. I can't look. You're going to have to tell me. We got 2. Did we get Rory and Laurie? Yes, we did. There's Laurie. There's Rory. Give yourselves a big, massive round of applause. Give yourselves a big clap. More importantly, give my amazing volunteer, give me a hand, give a big, massive round of applause as well. Fantastic. You go sit down. So, let me ask you a question. Who's enjoying the show? Put your hand in the air if you're enjoying the show. Wave your hand around. And if you're enjoying the show in a big, loud voice, say, me! Now, who's going to Thomasland tomorrow? And who's excited when they go to Thomasland to see Thomas? Who's excited to go on all of the rides at Thomasland? Now, because I work at Drayton Manor, I see all of the rides. I've been on all of the rides and they're all awesome. But my favourite ride is the train that goes from one side of the theme park to the other, and it looks just like Thomas. You can actually ride in Thomas. Who wants to go on the Thomas train tomorrow when they go to Thomas? I thought you would. Now, because I love trains, and because this is a party, I thought we can make some trains for me to play later on with Rory and Laurie. But as you're so good at magic, I thought you guys could help me. Let me ask you a question. Will you guys help me make some trains appear by magic? Now, the only thing is I'm going to have to teach you how to do this. And if you tell other magicians, I could be in a lot of trouble. So I'm going to have to make you take an oath or a promise. Everybody, put your hands in the air. Now, repeat what I say what I say in a nice, loud voice. And it's got to be a nice, loud voice. I state your name. No.
Yeah.
Stop. When say state your name, say your name. Let's try again. Put your hands in the air. Repeat after me. Nice loud voices. Your name. No! You don't say your name, you don't say state your name, you say my name, my name, my name. Put your hands in the air. My name. I'll trust you. Right. Would you like me to make magic trains or normal trains? If you want me to make magic trains, say magic. If you want me to make normal trains, say normal. Right, magic it is. Okay, so on 3, we're going to take the lid. We're going to put the lid over here. You're going to shout magic trains, and we'll make loads of magic trains appear. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. And look at this. I've made loads of invisible magic trains. Look, here you go. There's a red one, there's a green one, there's a blue one, there's a white one, there's a black... Shut up. Look at all these invisible magic trains. And no, they are. You wanted magic. Did you want to see them? Well, you should have asked for normal trains then, shouldn't you? Good. Okay, we'll try again. You all got to shout normal trains, then you get normal trains. We'll try again. I'll put the lid on. Everybody shout normal trains. On 3. 1, 2, 3. I can't look. You're going to have to tell me, is it full of trains? Did it work? 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 Look at that! Look at all those trains. There's a purple one, there's a green one, there's a blue one. Give yourselves a big, massive round of applause. Wow. Me, Rory, and Laurie, we can play with those later on. So, I'll put that over there. I'll put this in here. Who's having a good time? Put your hand in the air if you're having a good time. Wave your hand around if you're having a good time. It's not going to shut. Bad idea. Put your hand in the air if you're having a good time. Wave it around. Say me. Now, I've got a bit of a personal question to ask. Who here has smelly feet? He's got smelly feet. I have very smelly feet. My feet are so smelly, I have to use a special washing machine to wash my socks. It's this here. This is my magic washing machine. Now, who here, when they're going to Thomasland tomorrow, is looking forward to seeing Percy? Percy's actually my favourite train because Percy's green, and green's my favourite colour. So, have you seen the gift shop where they sell the Percy socks? Yeah. I wanted a pair of Percy socks, but they didn't have any in my size. So I thought I could use my magic washing machine, take my old dirty smelly socks and turn them into brand new Percy socks with your help. Will you guys help me? So, I've got an old pair of my socks here. They haven't been washed in 2 years. Oh, they stink. And I also have my washing machine. Now, the socks go inside the magic washing machine. There's a handle at the top. You turn the handle, and when you do, they'll turn into brand new Percy socks. So when I turn in the handle, you shout Percy socks, and my socks will be Percy flavoured, that's weird. They'll look like Percy socks, and they'll be brand new. Will you guys help me? Yeah! Okay, so I'll turn the handle. I can't turn it more than 3 times, by the way. 3 times only. So I'll turn the handle, you'll shout Percy socks. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go! Now remember, I can't turn the handle more than 3 times. If I turn it more than... Can you remind me if I turn it more than 3 times? You see, if I turn it more than 3 times, it won't work. I'll still have old, smelly socks. So we have to turn it just 3 times. You've got to remind me that. I always forget how many times to turn it. So let's try again. On 3, Percy socks. Here we go. 1, 2, 3! And then all I'm going to do is turn the handle, you see. I just turn the handle. What's the matter? I can't hear you. The handle's going. What's the matter? What? Why didn't you tell me to stop turning the handle? How many times did I turn that? Oh no, oh no, oh, hang on. Stop laughing! That's not funny! What is going on? That's not Percy! Right, it's because I turned the handle to. Let me put them back in. I'm really sorry. Let me try again. So don't look. It's really important. I turn the handle more than 3 times. Are you ready? I'll turn the handle. You'll shout Percy socks. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. What? I can't hear you. The handle's going. What's the matter? Ah!
30 times. 60.
Uh-oh.
Billion.
Oh, I hope it's worked. I hope it. Oh, there's Percy. I've got Percy socks. It doesn't matter. I turned it so many times. Look, I've got Percy socks with holes in. There's holes in my Percy socks. Oh, they still stink. Okay. You guys count along. You shout Percy socks and then count with me. Make sure I don't turn more than 3 times. Here we go. Hopefully then we can fix it. Here we go. Are you guys ready? Yeah! Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Count with me. Here we go. I can't look. I really can't look. You got to tell me. Has it worked? Are the holes in the Percy socks? No, there's not. I've got proper Percy socks. Oh, you guys made these and... Ooh, they're not that bad. They stink, but not as much. Give yourselves a big, massive round of applause. Oh. Have you guys enjoyed the show? Yeah. I can't hear you. Yeah. Who would like to see one last trick? Put your hand in the air if you'd like to see one last trick. Wave it around. Say me. I will introduce you to a friend of mine. My friend, his name is Bob. And Bob is in training to be the next character at Drayton Manor. You've got Rory, you've got Laurie, and then you'll have Bob. Now Bob, stop laughing at Bob. Bob is a good name. Bob is a rabbit. Who would like to meet Bob? Put your hand in the air if you'd like to meet Bob. Okay. This is Bob's house. Let me just put it here. This is Bob's house. This is Bob's backyard where he plays. This over here is Bob's living room. That's where he watches TV. This is Bob's bedroom. And there's Bob. Everybody say hello, Bob. Say, how you doing, Bob? Now, Bob is not just a rabbit in training to be a Drayton Manor character. Bob is actually a magic rabbit and can do magic. Who would like to see the trick that Bob can do? Bob can make himself completely disappear. Who would like to see Bob vanish? Okay, so to do this, all you need to know is the magic word to make things vanish. Who likes Harry Potter? If you like Harry Potter, there's a spell that they use in Harry Potter to make things vanish. Does anyone know what that spell is? Yes? No? It's called Evanesca. That's the vanishing spell. So we're going to try and use this to make Bob vanish. Let's have a practice. Everybody point your fingers on 3 and say, Evanesca! 1, 2, 3! You've got to be louder though. 1, 2, 3! So watch. We're going to put Bob over here. Put his door on. We're going to put Bob in his bedroom. He's going to vanish from his bedroom. On 3, everyone point and shout, Evanesca! 1, 2, 3! And Bob has vanished. Well done, good job. Now to bring him back, you've just got to shout Bob. Everybody shout Bob! Bob! And Bob's come back. Are you impressed? Yeah! Thank you. End of the show. But no, just cut it. They're buying this. Stop booing. Who believed that Bob disappeared? Okay. Do you want me to show you that Bob had gone? Yes! Let me just put his front door on. Okay. We'll do it again. Here we go. I don't care. Here we go. Bob is going to disappear. Everybody, on 3, shout Evanesca and point at Bob. 1, 2, 3. Would you like to see that Bob's gone? Watch. Because Bob has indeed disappeared. Look at that. No, he was in his bedroom. He disappeared from... What? No. What? No, he's not watching TV. No, I haven't. Bob is not in his bedroom. I will show you. Bob is not in his bedroom. Where? Where is he? Where? I don't understand what you're saying. In the living room. No, he's not in the living room. There's nothing there. He's not in the living room. He's not in the living room. He's not in there. He's really not. I'm showing you he's not in there. He's really not. He's not in the living room. What? It's where? Look, he's not there. It's completely gone. Hang on a minute. Do you think he's in there? And you think every time I show you he's in there, he runs over to the other side? And then you think that when I tell you he's over there, he runs back over there? Bob really has gone. Would you like me to prove it to you? I'll prove it to you. Look. Would you like me to... no, I'm going to open you the doors. I'm going to show you the door. I'll show you both doors. Look, there's nothing in this door. That's door number 1. There's nothing in this door. That's door number 2.
You changed him to the other side. Open him at the same time.
Do you want me to open both doors? At the same time? Okay, look, there's door number 1, that's his front door. There's number 2, that's his back door. Thank you very much. There we go, both doors. Thank you. What? Oh, hang on. Sorry, I didn't understand. Hang on, let me just put these 2 doors. There we go. Hang on, let me just put these back. I didn't realise that you meant... No, I'm really sorry. I didn't realise that you meant those. I'm so sorry. So there's the front door, and over there is the back door. There you go. What?
And the other one too, at the same time.
No.
Yes. You're just trying to cheat me.
Hang on, do you think I cheated? Do you want me to open up the front door over here? What, you mean like that? You want me to open up the back door? Like that? You want me to take his garden off? Like that? Bob is completely and totally gone. There is no Bob. He's vanished.
He's at the front. I saw his back. Not even we can see him. I see him. I can see.
Where are you?
He's there. We can see him.
Where are you?
He's there. We can see him.
You little cheat. I can't believe it. I tell you what, if we really could make Bob completely disappear. He's gone. If we really could make Bob disappear, and we really could make Bob disappear, that would only be half of the trick. The real trick wouldn't be making Bob disappear. The real trick would be making Bob come back. The real trick would be making Bob disappear and appear somewhere else. And you know when where these trains appear? If we can make Bob come back in here like the trains to finish the show, would that be a good ending to the show? I can't hear you. I tell you what, I'll put the lid back on again. And the only way we're going to do this is if you guys help me. I'll put the lid on. I want you, when I say wiggle your fingers, wiggle your fingers. When I say wiggle your toes, wiggle your toes. When I say wiggle your ears, wiggle your ears. When I say wiggle your nose, then you're all going to shout Bob. Here we go. Everybody, wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your ears. Wiggle your nose. Everybody shout Bob! I can't hear you! And now, for the end of the show, we have got a ball pit.
Maybe he's in the ball pit. He's been hide and seek.
I've just got loads of balls here. There's a red one, there's a black one, there's a green one. There's a, hang on a minute, I see whiskers. Right down here underneath all of the balls. Look who it is. Everybody Everybody give Bob a big, massive round of applause. Take a bow, Bob. Take another bow. Take another bow. You stand right there. So let me ask you a question. Oh, don't fall over. I've ruined your bedroom, mate. You're going to have to stay there. You lie down. There we go. Right. Guys, let me ask you a question. Who's enjoyed the show? Who's had a good time? I can't hear you.
Okay, so that's the whole show from beginning to end. Brilliant stuff. Now, you can see how I messed up the Run Rabbit Run. Basically, I'd never used the prop before, and I knew I had to take all the doors off, I knew I had to take the front off, and I thought I could turn it around and show it at the back. And the problem is, in my head, I was like, yeah, there's no reason why I can't do this. And the problem is, as I turned it around, the hidden rabbit moved to one side and moved back again, which was a problem. And I realised that the kids had noticed it. And obviously, they were really impressed with the vanish. And then I realised that they'd noticed it. And so I want you to see what I did, because this is important. Thinking on your feet in this sort of situation is really important. I thought I fixed it. I was looking through the thing as if I realised he was hiding, and he was hiding from me. So it wasn't that I'd made the mistake. It was that he was hiding still, because that's what had happened up until the point that I screwed up. The rabbit was hiding and I wasn't aware of it, right? So the first thing I did is I was like, right, okay, I'll pretend that I still haven't noticed that the rabbit's hidden, which worked to a point, but then I didn't realise that they're going to see the silver run at the bottom as well, and that's the other thing they could see. And I didn't realise about that either, so the whole thing was a complete debacle. And then I kind of shifted from, well, which was meant to be the ending of the trick, which was he vanishes and he reappears in the dustpan. I was like, well, you know, he's meant to have disappeared. You know, if he really could disappear, it'd be far more impressive if we could bring him back. And what I did is I shifted the kids' focus towards making the rabbit appear. So it's kind of like that falls into the comedy. And the other thing about something going wrong like that in a kids' show is this. My character in a kids' show is that of kind of a bumbling magician who can do tricks, but they don't necessarily work as well as I want them to. And there's two reasons I have that persona. The first reason I have that persona is it's just funny. You know, stub your toe in front of a bunch of kids and they're going to tell you immediately how funny it is. They're going to be laughing their ass off, right? Kids find it funny when adults do something that you know, is a bit stupid. It's where slapstick comes from, right? So you're there telling them you're a magician. So you are an adult with superpowers, effectively. So when things go, you know, if you're a bumbling magician and things aren't working the way you want them to, it's inherently funnier. It's an easier way to get the kids to laugh. But the other thing is, if your persona is that of a magician whose tricks go wrong, when a trick actually does go wrong, it's less of an issue. And that's the perfect example here. The whole routine was this rabbit hiding from me. So it makes sense that the rabbit has just continued to hide from me even when I thought the rabbit had disappeared, right? It all makes complete and total sense. And so kind of playing into that and then focusing on the reappearance and diverting all of the kids' attention to the rabbit appearing again is a better way to approach that, right? And the biggest piece of advice I can give you on this video is things are going to go wrong. Things are always going to go wrong. I mean, every show something goes wrong with me. Every performance, I think something goes wrong with me. But it's about knowing what I'm going to do to fix it and being able to think on your feet. Honestly, the ability to think on your feet when you're a performer is so important. So there's that. Now, very quickly before we kind of dissect the show, I just want to go into and show you what that trick should have looked like. So I did a second show, a reset, and I did a second show for a second group of kids. This was a kind of a smaller show. There were less kids there. But I want you to have a look at this one as well, because if you have a look at this one, you're going to see how that trick is meant to go right at the very, very end. So let's have a look at that very quickly right now.
I have a friend called Bob. Now, Bob is a rabbit. And Bob is in training to be the next character at Drayton Manor. But Bob is no normal rabbit, because Bob is actually a magic rabbit. Bob does magic. Who would like to meet Bob? Okay, I've even got Bob's house here. Let me go and get it. This is where Bob lives. This is Bob. Now, this is Bob's house. This is Bob's backyard. This is where he plays. This is Bob's living room. This is where he goes and watches TV. Bob likes TV. And this is Bob's bedroom. He normally hangs out in his bedrooms. There you go, there's Bob. Everyone say, hello, Bob. Now, the trick that Bob does is Bob is brilliant at vanishing, at disappearing. Who would like to see Bob disappear? Okay, so I want you to watch. It's easy to make Bob disappear. Let me show you. All you do is you put Bob in his bedroom. Let me just put his front door on. There you go. Perfect. You just put Bob in his bedroom, and all you have to do is you guys have to shout abracadabra on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep, Bob has disappeared. Now, that's not the first part. This is the best part. You can bring him back. Everyone shout, Bob! And now, Bob has come back. How good is that? What do you mean?
He stayed in there the whole time.
No.
Yeah, he was in there the whole time.
No, he disappeared.
No, he didn't.
Do you want me to show you again? Did you want me to open up the door?
You have to take the front door open.
Okay, look, I'll put him back in his bedroom,
Good night.
and we're gonna make him disappear again, okay? So everyone shout abracadabra on 3. 1, 2, 3. Now watch, I will open the door and show you. Hang on, sit down, sit. What do you mean you saw him? No, he's gone. He's gone into the living room. No, he hasn't. No, he doesn't. What?
Fake. I saw him slide across there. We saw him slide across there.
No, no, it's not. Sit down. Look, no, it's really gone. Look, it's really gone. What's the matter? Over here. He's not over there. What? He's not. Before it's not on. What? Oh, I get it. Open both. Look. There. Hang on.
I saw you.
Oh, you want to open both doors? Okay, that's fine. 2 doors at the same time. Are you sure? Both doors at the same time. Okay, no problem. Look, both doors. What? Okay, both doors at the same time. You ready? There's the first door. Yeah, no, sit down. I got it. Both doors, yeah? That's door number 1, and there's the back door. There's door number 2. What? You said you wanted both doors. What? Oh, sorry, you mean these doors. No, I can do that. There's that door, and there's that door. Both doors. What are you talking? Hang on, you want me to open these doors? You want me to open these doors? Hang on a minute, do you think I'm cheating? Do you think Bob's cheating? Do you think Bob's over there? Oh no, he isn't. Oh no, he isn't. Oh no, he isn't. No, he's not. You want me to prove it? You want me to open up the door? This one. And this one. You want me to open up the doors? And in fact, I can even take his front yard off. I can show you that Bob really has disappeared. But who would like to bring him back? Put your hand in the air. It's easy to bring Bob back. Let me just put this over here. Because to bring Bob back, we use the tin. And this is going to be the finish to the show. We're going to try and bring Bob back in the tin. I'm going to put the tin over here. And guys, to bring Bob back for the end of the show, all you guys have to do is say the magic rhyme. When I say wiggle your fingers, wiggle your fingers. When I say wiggle your toes, wiggle your toes. When I say wiggle your ears, wiggle your ears. And when I say wiggle your nose, wiggle your nose. Everybody, keep an eye on the tin. Here we go. Everybody, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, wiggle your ears, wiggle your nose, wiggle your legs, wiggle your hair, wiggle your head, wiggle your belly, wiggle your chest, wiggle your teeth, wiggle your shoulders, wiggle your elbows, wiggle your knees, wiggle your bum, wiggle everything all at the same time. Shout, hocus pocus! Louder! Louder! And now, for the finish of the show, we have the one and only... We have a ball pit. Hang on. If I move some of these balls, you're not going to believe this. Bob is back. You want to see him? There he is, right down at the bottom of the tin. There's Bob. Everyone give Bob a big, massive round of applause.
So, we've had a look at the show. We've had a look at what the show should look like and what that last trick should look like if you do it correctly. Let's just break down what's happening in this video. So, first of all, the most important thing that you need to understand is it's really important to when you're performing to kids, you want to be high energy. That's really important. You want to stand there and project. I see people sitting down and being very withdrawn. And if that style works for you, that's fine. But the style that I've always found works for me is I'm very high energy. And understand your character in a show. That's really important. I kind of have that mock comedy style to my show. Like I'm angry, I'm pretending to be angry and I'm not really. And, I'm this magician who can do magic, but it's not really working as well as it should do or as well as I want it to. And I'm getting angry at the kids for pointing things out at me and so on and so forth. Understand your character is really important. And you've only got one chance to make a first impression. So when you walk out on stage, you have to grab their attention straight away. And understand that sometimes the kids aren't going to be particularly receptive. It takes a while for them to really get into it. And that's why there's a warm-up there. And the warm-up is designed to bring these super shy kids out their shell and calm the excited kids down. That warm-up is such an important thing to include in every single show. And you'll notice, and especially in this sort of environment, because they're in a room with a bunch of kids they've never met before, at least in a birthday party, they all know each other. In this environment, nobody knows anybody else. They're all completely unknown, really. That nobody knows anybody else, and so they can be a little bit withdrawn until you can bring them out your shell. So that warm up right at the very beginning, I always do the warm up the same way. I get them really excited, I get them cheering, I get them clapping. I'll be right. Okay, there's three things you need to be able to do. You need to be able to clap. Everyone clap. You need to be able to cheer. Everyone cheer. You need to be able to sit down, and you need to be able to sit down and pay attention. That last one is really important. When I do this and I do this, that is such an important thing to do because it shows the kids that when I do this, I want them to be quiet. The amount of time that saved my butt is really important. The other thing that does is that establishes credibility with the clients and with the parents in the room. So a lot of parents are sitting there, especially at a birthday party, thinking, well, is this guy going to be any good? Have we booked the right person? By me standing in front of a bunch of kids and silencing them with just one gesture, immediately they know that, okay, right, this guy is good at what he does, obviously good at what he does because he's just been able to control a room full of kids with one gesture. So having that warm-up there is very important. And my warm-up will typically run about 5 minutes. Now, if you've got, this is a themed show, it's themed to the 75th anniversary of Drayton Manor, right? So when I'm doing a show like this, the other important thing is to bring that into the warm-up as well. Like it's the 75th anniversary. Who's excited about being at Drayton Manor? It's 75 years, that's a big deal. And you'll see that the tricks that I do are themed towards that theme as well. And I'll do another video at some point about theming. A lot of people ask me on this channel, how do you theme a performance? Well, a lot of the time it's looking at the tricks you've got, thinking about the theme you've got and how you can actually take those tricks and adapt it to that theme. And you'll see that in the first trick in the show in a minute. But first of all, I want you to see that the first trick that I did was the spoon trick, the spoon and the fork trick, spork, which is kind of a cheaper version of spooning round by Axel Heckler. And you can get Axel Heckler's directly from Axel Heckler. I use that in my close-up performances, and this is kind of a cheaper version that I throw in my kid showcase. This is an example of taking a gimmick that most people consider to be a close-up gimmick or a gimmick for stage magicians, and it's a very quick thing that's over very, very quickly, and making a bigger deal of it. And if there's anything that I can tell you about doing kid shows, it's not really so much about the trick. It's really more about how you can actually present the trick and how you can make the trick interesting to the kids. And this is a perfect example, right? So you say, hey, I haven't got a magic wand, instead I've got a magic fork. And did you notice how I actually said, look, don't laugh, no laughing, no sniggering, no giggling. I don't want you to laugh when I tell you this, because I know that that's going to cause the kids to laugh. If I just turned around and said, I don't have a magic wand, I have a magic fork, they wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't say anything. But by me turning around to them and saying, it's a magic fork, now they're suddenly getting more, now suddenly they're... now suddenly they're going to laugh immediately the second that I actually bring that out. And then obviously I can say it's a fork, it's the best magic fork in the world, and this is Look No See. And I've done an entire video on Look No See, so I'm not going to bring it up now, other than to say that the single most important thing that you can learn as an entertainer for children is Look No See. It gets its name from pantomime, the whole it's behind you thing. Kids love to interact. You want the kids to interact. You'll see that I ask lots of questions during the course of the show. I'm constantly getting kids, put your hand up. Who's having a good time? Put your hand in the air if you're having a good time. Does anyone know a magic word? What magic word do you know? I ask a lot of closed questions. Not open questions, but closed questions. I'm always looking for ways to try and make a show as interactive as possible. And this is a perfect example of making a show interactive. Look No See. Hey, it's a fork. No, it's a spoon. Don't be silly. It's a spoon. And you're arguing with the kids back and forth, and that's going to get them even more invested in what you're doing. They want to argue back. They're invested in the trick. They're invested in the show. And then when I look and I realize it is a spoon, and they get that reaction of me going, what? It's funny to them. And here's the other thing. You'll see me doing it over and over again. Repetition is so important with kids. When my daughter Thea was younger, she would watch the same episode of Paw Patrol over and over again and not get bored. Heck, she still does it right now with Frozen. She'll watch Frozen 1 and Frozen 2 1,000 times over because she knows what's coming up. She's anticipating it and she's looking forward to it. It's the same with this. Once I react to that spoon, and then I say, right, I've changed it into a fork. Now it's a fork. They know what's coming. They're going to find it even funnier when I react the second time, the third time, the fourth time. It gets funnier every single time, as long as my reaction increases. I have to become more over the top. I have to be more ridiculous. And that's what kids are going to find funny. Again, it comes back to the fact that kids find adults acting silly funny. So you want to build that into the show. But I don't act silly in a Mr. Tumble way. I act silly in a I'm very, very frustrated with this situation. What the heck is going on type of way. And again, that's just leaning into my character. So it's a perfect example of how you can take a very simple gimmick and make a 5-minute piece out of it for your show. You know, the spoon fork thing is absolutely brilliant. And then eventually you've got that moment where the spoon turns into the fork. Now, the other thing that I will say about that is you couldn't see the adults in the audience. There were about 40 or 50 adults in the audience, and they were watching, and I was looking at them. I always do. And there's certain moments in the show, and that's a perfect example of a moment where they're kind of looking at each other going, what the hell did we just see? Because a lot of adults, they expect a kid's entertainer to be naff in terms of magic, and they'll figure it out immediately, right? So when you show them something that's actually really impressive, and you show them something that makes them go, oh wow, this is actually really good. This is really good. Wow, this is good. How did that spoon turn into a fork? Because they think it's a gag, and then when you actually have it happen, chef's kiss. Love it. Brilliant stuff. So, so it's really important to have that element in there as well. and really impress the adults. Because here's the thing, who's going to book the gigs? The gig's going to get booked by the adults. The kids might influence matters, but if the adult is impressed with the magic, they're more likely to book you, right? So it's really important stuff like that's in there. And then you go into the first routine. Now, this tip over trunk is a new thing from Hocus Pocus in America. It's on the Craig and Ryland review show soon, I think, if it's not already gone on there. And we've got 3 of them. I absolutely love it. It's bloody amazing. It's a tip over trunk, but a smaller parlour-sized tip-over trunk, and you can fit anything in there. Ryland uses it for this kind of Harry Potter thing that he does, which is great. I use it for this thing. We've got one for all of the entertainers. I love this. I really do. And you can shove whatever you want in there. And having a prop like that is a great way to theme a show. So in this case, the show is about the 75th anniversary of Drayton Manor. When you think Drayton Manor, you think their mascots, Rory and Laurie. You think of Thomas the Tank Engine because they've got Thomas Land. And so this allows me to talk about, hey, it's the 75th anniversary. Let's have a party. What do you have when it's a party? Oh, okay, you'll have decorations. Well, I love party blowers. And then you've got that. And here's the thing. Kids love it when tricks go wrong. They just do. It's a little bit like, so I tried to make my show a little bit like Fantasia. You know, that Mickey Mouse Fantasia where he starts doing magic and all of a sudden it's chaotic. Kids love chaos. So, yeah, I could have done it where I had one party blower in there and it's correct the right time. The first time the party blower comes out, it's correct. But it's a lot funnier to actually have the wrong colour and the wrong colour. And again, you've got that look, no, see element of me bring it out and it's not working and it's not working. And you notice I brought a kid up. Now, in the second show, I actually brought a few kids up. It very much depends, but it's very easy to incorporate a kid into a show. You just make sure that they're there. You give them the magic wand or the magic fork in this case, or whatever the case may be, and you get them involved in the show. It's really important as well, and hopefully you saw this during the course of the show, that you're interacting with the kids that are watching, and don't just stick to a script, but go off script. So when I was asking for the magic word, and this kid was going, no, no, no. That's something that you can play on for, like, I can get a minute out of that. I can get a minute out of a kid saying something funny that I can play on. And typically it's going to be something that the adults are going to buy into as well, which is just wonderful. It really is. But that whole production sequence, kids love it when you make something appear. They just do. And that whole production sequence is great. I'm making this appear, 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 I'm making this appear. It's so super cool. And the finale with Rory and Laurie is always a really great moment. As I say, Ryland does that with a glass of milk, and it works really well. If you do stage shows or kid shows or comedy shows, getting one of those little tip over trunks is brilliant. So then I knew that the client would want me to try and incorporate trains into the trick, and I didn't want to bring a big train to the thing. I thought, well, you know what? If I can make some trains appear, that'd be awesome. So I have a double load Dove pan. I just literally looked into my warehouse. What have I got? I've got a double load Dove pan. Oh, that could work really well because I can make trains appear in that Dove pan. As well as trains, I could then reload it later on. And then in the same Dove pan, I can make something else appear. We'll figure out what later on. So, I use the double load Dove pan literally to just make the trains appear. But again, notice that when you're performing to kids, it's all about building up that moment and not rushing it. Bits of business is so important. So I could have just gone, everyone shout trains, trains, look, there's some trains, that's amazing. But it's so much funnier to say, would you like magic trains or would you like normal trains? Oh, you want magic trains? There you go, there's a magic train, there's a magic train, there's a magic train, there's a magic train. Because any time I can get the kids to argue back with me, what they're doing is they're investing in the show. They're interacting in the show. And if I can get them to interact, then that's when they're going to be focused. The reason, I speak to kids entertainers sometimes and they go, oh, kids walk off, and sometimes they wander off and they lose interest in the show. The reason that happens is because you're not putting enough elements in the show that get them invested so they're involved in the show. I'm not just talking about bringing them up to the front. I'm talking about getting them pointing stuff out, using look, no, see, using moments like this where they're arguing back at you and they're trying to make them. That's the sort of thing where they're focused and they're engaged in what you're doing. And having that moment, having those moments in the show is very, very important, because then people won't walk off. They'll stay and they'll carry on watching. And you should know as an entertainer if the kids are losing focus before they do. And you should be putting something in place in your show or bringing something in to stop that from happening. But like I say, kids love it when you make things appear, and the train thing is no exception. Now, notice at the end of the trains, I just put the trains on the table behind me, and I went to put the lid back in the table, and that was literally because I was reloading the second load into the lid. And you know, I did it right in front of the audience. Nobody notices anything because I'm not focusing on that point. So after that, you then went into the washing machine. Now, this is Ryland's favourite prop. The washing machine is in every single show that he does for kids. And I love the washing machine, and normally it's trying to wash these socks. And when I was putting this show together, I realised that it would be a really cool premise to try and make socks that are themed to Thomas. You know, I thought that would be a really cool thing to do. If I could theme the thing to Thomas socks, or Percy socks, that would be so much better. And that's where I took the washing machine and kind of adapted it. And that's the other thing that I can say to you. Just because you've bought a trick, and I talk about this all the time with close-up magic, but just because you've bought a trick and the instructions tell you to do it one particular way, be open to presenting that trick in a completely different way. How I did the washing machine is not how it's meant to be done, but adapting it and making it work that way is a brilliant way of... It's a brilliant way of making it. What am I trying to say? You know, it's a brilliant way of theming the show. It's a brilliant way of making the show themed to whatever theme that you want to use. You know, in this guy, and I can use that washing machine using that same premise. I can theme it to superheroes. I want superhero socks. I want Star Wars socks. I want Frozen socks, right? So I can take a prop that's not designed to be a themed prop, and I can very easily theme it. A little bit like that tip over trunk. That's designed to make things appear. But you can easily use it to add a theme to a show by making stuff appear that is fit to the theme of the show. And then you've got after that, you've got the finale, which is the Run Rabbit Run. And the one thing I'll tell you is it doesn't matter how old the kids are, Magician in Trouble is always that moment where kids are just going to really be invested. You want to save a trick like this for a finale because this is such a strong ending to any show. That moment where it's like, oh, you know, they see the rabbit run over to the other side of the room. You know, they see the rabbit run to the other room, and then they see it run back, and then they see it run back, and then they see it run back. The kids love it, adults love it. It's a classic. You know, Run Rabbit Run is a classic. That particular prop is a lovely version of that particular trick. Just don't make the mistake I did, where you turn the thing round and you expose the trick. That's not a good thing to do. And the other thing that I'll say once you've watched that trick that you need to understand is don't just vanish something and not make it reappear with kids. I used to do that and they get really frustrated. I have kids come up to me the entire party going, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? You don't want to vanish something and not bring it back. You always want to bring it back. So in this case, the finale is the vanish of the rabbit, but then it's kind of like an extra moment. I'm then going to bring that rabbit back. And that's when I can bring that dove pan back into play. And you know what? I don't want to just have something work immediately. I want to have to work for it and make it funny. So I could have just worked out a way of having that rabbit come back. There's a million different ways I can have that rabbit come back. But by having the rabbit come back in the pan and there's a load of balls in there, that then becomes funny for the audience. Oh, the magician's trying to make the rabbit come back, but he's made balls come back. That's so funny. And then I can go, oh, hang on a minute, there's nothing but balls. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, hang on a minute. And then you pull out the rabbit, right? So the important thing is to keep the energy up. And the important thing is make sure there's moments in your show throughout the show which is designed to interact with the kids. It's designed to get the kids on side. It's designed to get the kids invested in what you're doing, because if the kids aren't invested in what you're doing, you're onto a loser right from the very beginning, right? So be likable, be fun, incorporate lots of look, no, see, and have fun with it. That's the most important thing. Kids are really smart and they'll know if you've not had fun. They will absolutely know in a heartbeat if you haven't had fun. So it's really important to make sure that they have fun, you know, and you have fun with it as well. yeah, I mean, and don't give up. You know, I see a lot of people doing kid shows and then they give up very, very quickly because it's something that, you know, they don't think they can do. Doing kid shows is a great income stream. It's a great way to add income, but also the amount of really good gigs that I've got from doing kid shows because people see me at a kid show and they book me for something else is crazy, really, when you think about it. Yeah, I've got really nothing else to say. Hopefully this video was useful. I really hope it was. If you want to see more videos about performing for kids, let me know. If you want me to do more show breakdowns, let me know. If you want me to perform a particular trick in front of a kid show audience or a family audience, I have the ability to do that. Let me know and I will film it and I'll do a video on that particular trick. If you'd like to see me performing for older kids or younger kids or whatever the case may be, let me know. Like I've said to you a million times, Magic TV is a channel that's designed to help you guys upskill and get better at whatever it is that you want to get better at. So if there's something that I can do to help you, I will. Thank you once again for joining me. Don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to get more in-depth tutorial from me and in-depth guidance, then you can go and join the Netrix. Every week we have a virtual magic club that's meant to run for an hour and it ends up running for about 3. And I always have a blast chatting to the guys on there. So if you want to join the Netrix, please do so. I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.